Welcome back all of you. In this video we'll continue with the linear block codes that we started in the previous video. So the simple concept of linear block code is that instead of transmitting the original data block D consisting of k digits, we transmit a code word C with n digits such that this code word C is equal to D into G, where G is the generator matrix. And if we further simplify it, we can say that this code word C is nothing but the data word consisting of k digits concatenated with CP, where CP is the check digits. CP is the check digits, and the CP is equal to D into P. So these were some important relations that we analyzed and derived in the previous lecture. So this was all about how to generate a code word which is to be transmitted. Now comes the next step: how to decode this received code word. Decoding means we need to retrieve back our original information with the knowledge of this code word that is being transmitted. Okay, so now we'll look at the decoding process. Okay, let us consider some code word properties. In order to understand the decoding process, we know the fact that modulo 2 addition of any sequence with itself is 0, right? We know that A modulo 2 addition with A is equal to 0. This is a fact. So we'll make use of this fact to derive some important properties which will assist us in the decoding process, right? So we know this CP is D into P. So we can say that CP modulo 2 addition CP is equal to 0, or we can say DP modulo 2 addition CP is equal to 0. And this, if we simplify this, if we try to expand this, the alternate way of writing this can be DCP, which is D concatenated with CP, into PIM is equal to 0. This is the alternate representation of this expression DP modulo 2 addition CP. Try to please analyze these two expressions. Are you able to correlate this transformation or not? Where this matrix D concatenated with CP is nothing but your code word. We have already seen that this D concatenated with CP is nothing but the code word, right? So we can further rewrite this expression as C into H transpose equal to 0, where H transpose is equal to PIM. Or we can say H is equal to P transpose IM. This is again a very important expression. C into H transpose is equal to 0. And this matrix H matrix is known as parity check matrix. As I told you, this expression is very important. All the code words should satisfy this expression. All the code words which are transmitted should satisfy this expression. And hence we can say this is the principle of decoding. Principle of decoding process. This is your basic principle of the decoding process that we'll be using, right? Now let us look at the actual decoding process. Okay, so let us assume that R is the received word. Let us say this is your transmitter, this is your receiver, D is the original data word, and the coding process takes place at the transmitting end, and the code word C is being transmitted. Okay, and at the receiver end we get R as the received word. Okay, because we know that during transmission there are good chances that error might take place in the received signal. So let us say D was the original data, and using this D, a code word was generated, which is C, that was being transmitted, and the received word is R. Okay, so we can say that R is equal to C modulo 2 addition E, where E is the error vector. E is the error vector, or you can also call it as error word, and it will be a vector of n elements, because code word has n number of digits, so this error vector will also have n number of elements. Okay, so this is the received signal expression, received word expression rather. This is the received word. Now let us try to further analyze this expression of the received word with the help of an example. If you remember, in the previous video lecture we did an example for a 6-3 code. Okay, let us take a particular value out of that example, out of the same example. 6-3 means it is the value of nk given to us. K is the number of data digits. So let us take a particular case of this example where 100 was the data word, and corresponding to that word we have already derived in the previous example that the corresponding code word was C, which was 100101. You can also verify it from the previous video lecture. The code word corresponding to the data word 100 was 100101. Okay. And now let us say that we are considering the same scenario where this is the data word and this is the code word, and we say that the received word R is 101101, which is different from the transmitted code word. This received code word is different from the transmitted code word. This is due to the noise introduced during the transmission process. Okay. So correspondingly we can see that the error vector, because we know that R is equal to C modulo 2 addition error, or we can alternatively say that error is equal to C modulo 2 addition R, because in case of modulo 2 subtraction it is equivalent to addition only. So using these expressions we can easily find out the value of E vector. It comes out to be 001000. You can also verify this error vector, that is C, which is your 100101, and if error vector is assumed to be 001000, and if we take the modulo 2 addition, we'll see that the resultant is 101101, which is nothing but your received vector. You can verify it from here. And if you compare the received word with the transmitted code word, you will find that there is a change of 1 digit at the third place, and in the error word also there is a 1 at the third place. Hence we can conclude that an element 1 in error word E indicates an error in the corresponding position. And 0 indicates no error. So this is the conclusion that we can derive from this concept. You can clearly see that the error word consists of a 6-digit word which has 1 at the third place, and rest all the other digits are 0, and you will find that if we use the same error vector, the received, and we correlate it with the received vector, the change or the error is only at the third place. So the element 1 in the error vector indicates an error in the corresponding position, and 0 indicates no error. Hence we can say the Hamming distance between R and C is nothing but simply the number of ones in the error word E. Now let us generalize this concept of error word and the decoding process. Let's say, let us suppose code word transmitted is CI. Transmitted code word is CI. The transmitted code word is CI, and the channel noise causes an error. The error word which is introduced while the transmission process is taking place is EI, and the received word hence will be CI modulo 2 addition EI, right? And if there were no error during the transmission process, we can say that EI is consisting of all zeros, and then we would have that R into H transpose equal to 0. This expression R into H transpose equal to 0 is analogous to the expression that we did in the starting of this lecture, this CH transpose equal to 0. This was the important property that we derived, and we are making use of it over here, where we saw that the modulo 2 addition of a word with the same word gives you 0, and on further simplifying it, we get C into H transpose equal to 0 when we have the same exact word or the error is 0, right? So here we assume that if the error vector is 0, so R will be equal to C, and hence R into H transpose is equal to 0. We are making use of the same property here, okay? But this is the ideal scenario which will hardly occur. So because of the possible channel errors, due to possible channel error, so this R into H transpose is in general a non-zero row. It's a non-zero, and this vector is known as S vector, which is syndrome vector. We define this R into H transpose vector, which is non-zero when there is a error present during the transmission, and this vector is known as syndrome vector. We define it by S is equal to R into H transpose. This is syndrome vector. Again, an important expression to remember. Now if we substitute the value of R here, R is CI modulo 2 addition EI. R is the received word, which is code word modulo 2 addition with the error word, into H transpose. It can be simplified as CI into H transpose modulo 2 addition EI into H transpose, and this is equivalent to EI into H transpose. Because this CI into H transpose is equal to 0, that we have already, this property we have already derived in the starting of this lecture here, C into H transpose equal to 0. So this gets eliminated from this expression, and the syndrome vector gets reduced to EI into H transpose. Thus now using these two expressions, equation 1 and equation 2, so from equation 1, if we have the knowledge of received word R, which is obviously present at the receiver end, we can easily find out the syndrome vector. So using R we can find out syndrome vector. And if we have the knowledge of syndrome vector, so using equation 2 we can easily find the error vector. So in this way, if we have the knowledge of this received vector R at the receiver end, we can find out syndrome vector, and further with the help of the syndrome vector we can find out the error vector, or you can say error word. But unfortunately, this knowledge of this S syndrome does not allow us to solve this error word uniquely. It's a very important point to note here that unfortunately the knowledge of S does not allow us to solve E uniquely. Okay, and I'll show you this by an example. Let us take the same example that we did in the previous lecture, that for a data word D100, the corresponding code word is 100101. And if detection error is caused in the third digit, if the detection error is caused in the, we can say in the third digit, then the received word R will be 101101. Okay, that only the third digit will be in the error. We are assuming this. So in this case, this is the C code word transmitted, and this is the received R. So error word we can easily find out as 001000, right? This we have already seen. But the same word could also be received. The same word, this same received word could also be received if C was 101011 and error word was 000110. If we have this combination at the input side, this code word at the input side, and this error during the transmission, we will get the same code word, that is 101101, which is same as this. Also we can see that if the combination is such that C is equal to you can say 010011 and the error word is 111110, again you will see that the received vector R will be 101101, which is again same. So there are 8 possible error vectors. We can say that if the value of k is equal to 3, or value of if we assume if we talk in general terms, that if the data word consists of k digits, then there are 2 raised to power k number of possible error vectors. We cannot say the error vectors are unique. I mean, from this syndrome vector S, we cannot say we can uniquely derive the error vector. And the reason is clear from this example, that if D transmitted data block was 100, corresponding code word was this, and if we assume the error in the third bit, the received word is this. Okay, correspondingly error will be this. So this is not a unique error that we are generating here. So because if we have this combination, C is this, which is different from this one, and error vector is this, then we get the same received word. Similarly, if we have this combination, again we'll get the same received word. So this error vector that we are generating is not the unique error, we can say. And there are, in general we can say there are 2 raised to power k number of possible error vectors that can be generated. Now the question is, which vector shall we choose? There are these many number of possible error vectors. Now the question is, which error vector shall we choose? This is the big question. Okay, so for this decision of the correct or the most optimum value of error vector, we shall decide a decision criteria. One reasonable decision criteria is the maximum likelihood rule. Which states that if we receive R, then we decide in favor of that C for which R is most likely to be received. I'll just write down this definition of maximum likelihood rule here in context of this decoding process, that if we receive R code word, then we decide in favor of that code word C for which R is most likely to be received. We can quantify this in terms of the probabilities. That means probability of R given Ci is the transmitted code word is greater than probability R for Ck, where for all K not equal to I. So this is the maximum likelihood rule. We'll have a better understanding of this maximum likelihood rule with the help of an example. We're going to do that example now. So this is the maximum likelihood rule, which is a reasonable decision criteria with the help of which we can decide the unique error vector. Okay, so let us do this example. Let us assume the same parameters as we did in the case of the example that we did in the previous video lecture. We are assuming the same linear 6-3 code and the same generator matrix G as we used in the previous example. And the question is, the receiver receives R. Question is, the receiver receives the received word R as 100011. Determine the corresponding data word if the that's the question. Determine the corresponding data word using this maximum likelihood rule. Okay. So we'll begin with finding out the syndrome vector. Okay, because that is the first step to find out the data word or the error. So S is equal to R into H transpose. We have seen this, we have derived this just now. We know the R vector, we know the H vector. H vector, we know it is, H is equal to, we have seen that H is equal to P transpose concatenated with I of M. Okay, we know the generator matrix, so that means we know the P matrix also. Okay, this generator matrix, we are using the same generator matrix that we did in the example in the previous video lecture. So this H is also known to us. So this S syndrome vector will be 100011 multiplied by H, which is 101 011 0. This is the H matrix that we've generated using this combination, and the value of P matrix is already known to us, and this is the identity matrix of order M cross M, where M is equal to N minus K. These are standard notations that we've been using since the starting of this unit. So if we simplify this expression, this is a 1 cross 6 order, and this is 6 cross 3. So this syndrome matrix will be 1 1 0, which is 1 cross 3 order, right? So now we know that R is equal to C modulo 2 addition E. Okay, and we can also write it as C is equal to R modulo 2 addition E, because in modulo 2 operations, subtraction is same as addition. Always remember, in modulo 2 operations, subtraction is same as addition. Okay, so now we know the syndrome vector S, which is 1 1 0, and we know the expression of syndrome vector is E into H transpose. We know that this C is a 1 cross 6 word, right? C is a 6-digit word, code word. So this error vector will be also a 6-digit code word, 6-digit error word. So we can say that this 1 1 0 is equal to E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, 6-digit error word multiplied by H transpose. We know the value of H transpose. It is this. Okay, we'll make use of this matrix here, and we can easily find out the value of E error vector here. E comes out to be 0 0 1 0 0. We'll see that this equation is satisfied by this error vector, but so does a different combination of error vector satisfies this. If we use E as 0 0 0 1 1 0 or 0 1 0 1 0 1 or 0 1 1 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 or 1 1 0 0 0 0. So these are all different combinations, other combinations which will satisfy this equation. This is satisfying, correct, but these combinations will also satisfy this equation. But the suitable choice will be this error word, because it has the minimum weight. The error word has minimum weight, E minimum. There is 1. Weight is the number of ones in the given vector. Okay, so you will find that this error vector has only single one, so the error weight here is 1, while in all these combinations you will find the error weight is more than 1. So this will be the suitable error vector that we are looking for, and hence the generated code word would be R modulo 2 addition E. We know the value of R, we have derived the value of E. R was 1 0 0 0 1 1. E we have derived this just now. R is given to us, so the generated code word will be 1 0 1 0 1 1. So this is the generated code word. Now once you have the generated code word, you can easily find out the value of data word, which will be 1 0 1. That we have already done in the example in the previous video lecture. Thus, an organized or systematic way to find out the error vector or the error word is to look for the error vector with minimum weight, or you can say minimum weight error vector. Minimum weight error vector is the optimized or the systematic way of finding the error or the data word corresponding to possible syndromes. So this is how we are going to adopt the decoding process, and we have seen that corresponding to a particular syndrome, or you can say a received word, we have non-unique error vectors which will not lead us to a unique received data word, right? So what we'll do is we'll look for a minimum weight error vector, and we'll utilize that to find out the received word and further the data word. Okay, so that is all for this video lecture. In the coming lecture, we'll discuss about how to construct the Hamming codes which are used to generate the coefficients of the generator matrix or the parity check matrix. So far we have been using the generator matrix G and the parity check matrix CP, or you can say P, directly, right? So in the next video lecture we'll be we'll study how to construct these generator matrix or the parity check matrix. Thank you.